After my ex-girlfriend became an international superstar and returned to the country, she was bent on showing off in front of me. Back then, she was so poor that she couldn't even afford the medical expenses for her own father. Now that she's returned in glory, she just wants to see me in a state of great distress. But what she doesn't know is that I'm already dead. I float in the air, watching the woman who is surrounded by the crowd, chatting and laughing merrily. She was the woman who was so poor that her school uniform was washed until it turned white, and who even knelt down and begged me not to break up with her back then. Now she has become a dazzling new star. She, who used to be so self-conscious, is not afraid of the media cameras at all, and is talking and laughing calmly and freely. I look at her from the side, and I can't at all combine this bright and confident face with that green and helpless face. Perhaps time really can change a lot. No matter how green and innocent one used to be, one can now hold up half the sky. Vivian, I've been waiting for you for so long. You finally come back. Can you have a chat with me, dear? My mother shouts in the crowd. Vivian looks in the direction of the voice, and her eyes instantly turn cold. It's terrifying that she still hasn't forgotten me. Before Vivian can say anything, my mother directly squeezes through the crowd. Vivian, didn't you used to love the sweet and sour spare ribs I made the most? How about I make them for you? Where did this crazy old woman come from? Vivian frowns. The person beside her immediately pushes my mother to the back. Then Vivian is surrounded by bodyguards and leaves. But my mother still doesn't give up and persists in following her. She waits at the entrance of the company for a whole day. It's winter now, and my mother's legs can't stand for a long time. Seeing my mother's face gradually turning blue and purple, I'm extremely anxious. Mom, please go back. She won't forgive me. Mom, things ended so badly between us back then. She must hate me so much that she wishes she could kill me. How could she possibly help you? No matter how much I shout, my mother just can't hear me. There's no other way. So, I can only stay by my mother's side. I'm such an unfilial son. Even in death, I'm not completely gone, and I'm still making my mother suffer. My mother can't see me. I died the year I broke up with Vivian. Back then, in order to make her give up on me, I did a lot of foolish things. Otherwise, she wouldn't still be hating me now. Thinking of all that happened in the past, my heart sinks. At 12 o'clock at night, large snowflakes start to fall from the sky. Even though I don't have a physical body, I can still feel the biting cold. My mother's face turns purplish and her whole body goes stiff. My heart breaks into pieces as I watch her from the side. Mom, don't be like this. Please go back. Your legs and feet weren't good to begin with. My mother has worked without rest for years because of me. From a pampered lady, she has become disheveled. In just 3 years, she has aged more than 10 years. And I, this unfilial son, could do nothing and keep dragging her down. Mom, please go back. My mother lowers her head as if she senses something and slowly gets up. I instantly heave a sigh of relief, thinking she's going to turn around and go home. Unexpectedly, she directly runs towards the entrance of the building. Coming towards her is Vivian, looking tired. At that moment, there aren't many people around her, but she has 2 bodyguards and an assistant with her. Vivian, I finally waited for you. My mother steps forward and grabs Vivian's hand. Vivian's beautiful brows furrow, and the assistant beside her immediately pushes my mother away. My mother, who has been standing in the cold for too long and is unsteady on her feet, falls directly to the ground. Her originally pale face wrinkles up. I want to go forward and help her up, but I find that I can't touch her at all. When I pass through her thin body, my whole body starts to shake uncontrollably. Mom, my eyes are red and hot tears roll down my cheeks. The tears blur my vision, and the people in front of me seem to have more shadows. Considering that you're old and a fan of Vivian's, we won't bother with you. But don't be ungrateful and try to blackmail us. Otherwise, we'll call the police, the assistant says with a cold face, looking at my mother. Our Vivian needs to rest. She has a schedule to catch tomorrow morning and doesn't have time to chat nonsense with you. As the assistant speaks, she gives a look to the bodyguards. My mother is then held up by them, one on each side. Don't do this, Vivian. What happened back then was really a misunderstanding. Can you lend me 200,000 yuan? As long as you lend me that much, I can explain everything. My mother still persists. When Vivian hears this, she frowns fiercely and her beautiful face is full of mockery. I thought you had realized your mistakes. It turns out you're here to ask for money. You're so shameless. Assistant, throw her out and don't let me see her again. Yes. Vivian turns around with a cold face and gets into the car. Her back is so resolute. It's as if my mother is an old woman who has nothing to do with her. 3 years ago, these two people got along like mother and daughter. Vivian used to like to come to my house and keep my mother company when she had nothing to do. I still remember the first time Vivian came to my house. How flustered and helpless she looked. She nervously held my hand, and her beautiful eyes were filled with pleading. Henry, don't leave me alone. I'm scared. At that time, there were some problems in the company, and it was originally the day when I was supposed to accompany her to meet my mother. But the situation was urgent, and I had to leave. Don't worry, Vivian. My mother is very nice. She won't eat you, I said, patting her hand and comforting her for a while. That day, when I rushed back home after dealing with the matter in a hurry, I found that the two of them were getting along very well. They were even watching a TV drama together on the sofa and eating some junk food that my father didn't allow. Mom, didn't Dad say you're not allowed to eat this kind of food? I smiled in surprise and walked toward the two of them. What's there to be afraid of? Your dad is on a business trip. Only the 3 of us in this room know about it. Unless you tell on us, your dad will never know, right, daughter-in-law? Vivian smiled with her eyes curved, and her beautiful eyes were like stars. Yes, Auntie. The two of them were having a great time, and I felt like an outsider instead. But now my mother is driven far away. She's also frozen stiff. When she recovers and chases after Vivian, Vivian has already taken a flight and gone abroad. My mother looks at the plane flying away, and her eyes are red. But she still stubbornly refuses to shed tears. My mother used to be someone who loved to cry, and my father would always coax her. But later, my father had a car accident, and there was no one to coax her in this world anymore. In the past 3 years, I have seen her eyes red countless times, but she has never really cried. Son, Mom will definitely save you. She wipes the tears from the corner of her eyes and starts making phone calls again. Second sister, my son doesn't have money for the hospital anymore. Can you pay back some of the money you owed me before? My mother lent my second aunt several million yuan before. But since my father passed away, my second aunt has cut off contact with our family when she saw that my mother couldn't hold things together. Sometimes she doesn't even answer my mother's calls. This time, maybe she pressed the wrong button by accident. Eldest sister, what time is it and you're still thinking about your dead son? He's already in a vegetative state. Why don't you give up while you're not too old yet? Find someone to marry, and you can have someone to rely on for the rest of your life. Second sister, don't talk nonsense. I will never remarry in my life. Your brother-in-law was so good to me before, and this is our only son. I can't give up on him. As his second aunt, can't you pay me back some money? When my son gets better in the future, we'll still be a family. Cut. Who's your family? It would be strange if your son gets better. You're such a fool, and you're actually my sister. Get lost quickly in case you pass on your stupidity to me. Beep, beep, beep. The other side hangs up the phone without mercy. My mother listens to the busy tone on the phone, and her eyes turn red again. But she still doesn't give up and calls all kinds of our relatives, but without exception, they all refuse. Finally, the voice of my second aunt comes through. Sister-in-law, I heard that you're borrowing money everywhere. What kind of trouble are you in? My second aunt has been living abroad and has just come back recently. She used to have the best relationship with our family. My mother also said a lot of good words for her in front of my father. That's why my second aunt had such a huge dowry and has been living a prosperous life all these years. Recently, I even heard that her husband's company has gone public. So, she can be said to be very successful. I'm not sure about others, but I'm sure this second aunt will help us. Second sister, you know that your brother is gone and our only child is in the hospital. The doctor said there's still hope for him. I want to borrow some money from you. He's sister-in-law. Since the nephew has already become like that, there's no point in saving him. But if sister-in-law wants to borrow money from me for the nephew's funeral expenses, I can still provide it. What do you mean? My mother's face turns pale instantly. You're Henry's aunt. You watched Henry grow up. How can you say such things? Is this what a senior should say? A heartless laugh comes from the other side of the phone. It's not that I'm criticizing you, sister-in-law. You should really listen to me in this matter. That kid has been lying there for 3 years. If he was going to wake up, he would have woken up long ago. I'm already being more than kind by offering to pay for the funeral expenses. Besides, my brother is dead, and you've squandered our family's fortune. I haven't even settled that score with you yet. My mother was so angry that she trembled all over. Fine. I don't have a relative like you. Since we're talking about this, let's cut off all ties, you ungrateful wretch. You'll never be able to have a son in your life. You're crazy. The other side hung up while cursing. My mother was like a person whose soul had been taken away. She knelt down and sat on the ground. She burst into tears, sobbing uncontrollably. My heart ached so much that it felt like I was suffocating, but I still couldn't comfort her. I could only sigh silently by her side. Mom, it seems that my memories are getting fewer and fewer. My mother sought help from many relatives, but to no avail. In the end, she pinned her hopes on Vivian. At the new drama press conference, Vivian was shining in ancient-style clothing, and there was an impenetrable crowd around her. I heard that the movie Vivian participated in this time was a big production. She had always had a dream of becoming an actress. But after entering the entertainment industry for many years, she had always been an unknown junior. When we were together, I always encouraged her to improve herself. But at that time, in order to make her leave me, I actually said in front of others that she was embarrassing. Vivian, you've been playing bit parts all day long and embarrassing me. You've been playing bit parts for 5 years. If you were going to become famous, you would have become famous already. Your acting is still as bad as ever. Every time, I'm too embarrassed to talk about it. After I said these words, there was complete silence on the scene. My former cronies even looked behind me. I steeled myself and turned around. When I met her pained and aggrieved eyes, it took a great deal of effort for me to hold back the urge to rush up and comfort her. Henry, is that what you think of me? Were all the words of comfort you gave me before just lies? Vivian looked at me with eyes full of hurt, but there was still a bit of trust in them. She would rather believe that this was because I lost a game of truth or dare than believe that this was my true intention. But this trust, I was destined to let her down. Yes, I lied to you before. If I didn't lie to you, how could a woman like you have become my girlfriend? But now that I've got you, I find you boring. All kinds of mean and harsh words came out of my mouth. But there was a dull pain in my heart. I endured the heartache and watched as the little woman in front of me had the light in her eyes fade away little by little. You scoundrel! I was slapped hard, and I watched as that slender figure fled in a hurry. Even after I said those things, I didn't expect that she still wouldn't give up. After that, I started to distance myself from her. I even found a few young models as girlfriends. At first, she was still very tolerant of me and thought that I was just confused for a while. I never expected that she, who had always been so strong-willed, would be so persistent in wanting me. Henry, I don't care. As long as you're still mine, you have me in your heart, right? You like me the most, Henry. She repeated these words over and over again, as if comforting herself. It was also like self-hypnosis. But this time, I didn't want her to fall asleep like this. My illness was getting worse, and I couldn't delay any longer. She had originally received an invitation from a foreign director and had a better future ahead of her. But she stayed because of her love. Love should never be a burden. It should be about fulfillment. I was willing to fulfill her even if she left with hatred for me. Vivian, wake up. This is the kind of woman who is worthy of me. Look at her figure and looks. In what way are you worthy of me? You're just the daughter of an ordinary migrant worker, while I'm the sole heir of a group. Do you think your status is worthy of me? Don't think you're important to me. In fact, you're not even as good as a prostitute in my heart. Tears as big as beans instantly fell from Vivian's eyes, and her eyes looking at me were filled with a bit of stubbornness. Henry, what on earth has happened? What exactly did I do wrong? Why don't you want me anymore? We've been together for 5 years. Can you just give up on our relationship like that? Henry, you're not the kind of person who would do this. Why are you pretending? You're not pretending well at all. Her words struck at my heart one by one. I looked at her with gentle eyes. They said, "You're too stubborn and self-centered, and you're simply impossible to put down your dignity for me. They won't accept a daughter-in-law like you. Then what should I do?" There was a glimmer of light in Vivian's eyes, as if hope had been ignited. Although I felt a bit sorry for her, I still had to deliver this final blow. As long as I delivered this final blow, it would be done. "As long as you kneel on the ground and beg me not to leave, I'll promise to make up with you. How about that?" There was a flash of disbelief in her eyes. When I saw that she was a bit hesitant, I turned around and was about to leave. She quickly grabbed me, and her eyes were stubborn. "Henry, don't leave. I'll kneel. As long as I do this, you'll forgive me, right?" "Yes." Grimacing, she knelt down on the ground. In the past, no matter how many people pressured her, she gritted her teeth and refused to kneel. She was even known for her stubbornness in school. But now, she was willing to kneel for our relationship. It was clear how much she cared about me. She truly held me dear in her heart. Thinking of this, my eyes flickered slightly, and I endured the intense pain in my heart as I looked at the little woman kneeling on the ground. Tears kept streaming down the corners of her eyes. That was her last bit of stubbornness. "Henry, please don't leave." She tried hard to force a smile. "Henry, are you satisfied now?" Her eyes were too captivating. I turned my face away and refused to look at her. Suddenly, I burst out laughing. "You fool. I was lying to you." The former workaholic actually knelt down and begged me not to leave. This is so funny. Haha, I'll definitely describe it to my brothers another day. Vivian's face instantly turned pale, and her little face was completely bloodless. "Henry, you were lying to me. Otherwise, still I'll say it again. A woman like you should stop daydreaming. I won't marry you, and I'm not interested in you at all. Get as far away from me as you can." "Fine, don't regret it." She gave me a deep look and then turned around and ran away. I laughed wildly, but tears uncontrollably welled up in the corners of my eyes. This was originally the best ending for us. My thoughts returned to the present. My mother had already climbed over the wall of Vivian's villa. Thud! There was a noise, and the alarm bell rang. My mother was instantly panicked and stood there a loss. The assistant came with the bodyguards. "It's you again." When the assistant saw that it was my mother, his face darkened. "Don't think that just because you're old, we won't dare to call the police. You're trespassing on private property. Someone call the police and arrest her. Please don't. I just want to see Vivian and talk to her for a while." My mother was anxious. "Please, I'll leave after saying a few words. Our Vivian is so busy every day. She just came back to the country and is resting now. And here you are, deliberately causing us trouble. This time, I won't tolerate it no matter what." The assistant had a cold face and was about to deal with my mother. I was extremely anxious as I watched from the side. If my mother were to go to prison because of me, I would truly be guilty beyond redemption. "Gabriel, the young lady refuses to eat. What should we do? She has a schedule to catch tomorrow. What if she doesn't get enough nutrition?" The chef looked troubled, and the assistant's face looked even worse. "Vivian is such a child. I'll go talk to her. Wait a minute. I can cook. I know what she likes to eat the most. Anyway, you have no other choice. You can't force her to eat things she doesn't like, right? If this goes on, even if her body doesn't break down, she might develop psychological problems. You can cook." The assistant was skeptical. When the chef heard this, he seemed to see a savior. "The young lady has always had a poor appetite. She usually likes sweet and sour spare ribs the most, but today, I don't know why, she won't even eat the sweet and sour spare ribs. It doesn't matter. I'm best at cooking sweet and sour spare ribs. All right, you can give it a try. If the young lady's health breaks down, we'll be the ones to suffer." The assistant hesitated a bit more upon hearing this. After pondering for a moment, he nodded. "All right, you can try." After the sweet and sour spare ribs were out of the pot, my mother also cooked a few side dishes that Vivian liked to eat. Then she waited in the kitchen with a nervous expression. I followed the chef and drifted to the dining room. I said, "I don't want to eat." Vivian's voice stopped. When she saw the side dishes on the table, there was a bit of suspicion in her eyes. "How did you make these?" Seeing that Vivian had an appetite, the assistant quickly said, "Come on, my little princess. Hurry up and eat." Otherwise, you won't have the strength tomorrow. It won't be good if you faint on the film set like last time. Yes, miss. Please eat a little. Don't wear yourself out. Otherwise, your fans will start sending me razor blades again. Vivian was persuaded by them from both sides and finally picked up the chopsticks. In that case, I'll eat a little. Although she said she would eat a little, soon most of the food on the table was gone. The assistant and the chef stared at the scene in front of them in disbelief and rubbed their eyes, thinking they were seeing things. Am I seeing things? The young lady has eaten so much. No, you're not. That old woman really has some skills. The assistant's face showed ecstasy. The chef realized it later and felt a bit regretful. Then Gabriel, can I still keep my job? It's hard to say. After Vivian had her meal, she seemed to be in a much better mood, and her gaze towards the two of them also softened a lot. All right, bring the person up. I want to see what she has to say to me. The two of them exchanged a look and then brought my mother up. Vivian, you're finally willing to see me. My mother still had a kind smile on her face. Vivian glanced at her and then turned her head. After all these years, why have you become so old? Is your precious son unfilial? No, my son is very filial. But I want to borrow some money from you. 200,000 yuan. Don't worry, I will pay you back. Vivian laughed. You went into so much trouble just to ask me for such a small amount. Isn't your precious son very filial? Can't he even come up with 200,000 yuan? As Vivian spoke, there was overwhelming hatred in her eyes. Looking at her like this now, I started to feel uncomfortable again. She wasn't like this originally. It was all because of me. That's why she became like this. All these years, she must have had a hard time, right? Thinking of this, my eyes turned red. I clenched my fists tightly and stared fixedly at her fair little face. As if she sensed something, she raised her eyes and met my gaze. When our eyes met, my heart skipped a few beats. I even suspected that she could see me, but she quickly averted her gaze, and I let out a sigh of relief. It's better that she can't see me. Otherwise, I really don't know how to face her. My son is now. My mother said, her eyes turning red. As if she thought of something, she knelt down on the ground directly. Vivian, this is just a small request from me. You can rest assured that as long as I'm alive, I will definitely pay the money back to you. I rushed over to help my mother up, but I could only pass through her body. My heart felt as if it was covered by a fishing net, and it was hard to breathe. The corners of my eyes turned red as I looked at the little woman in front of me. There was a bit of emotion on Vivian's face, but she still sneered. Did he send you to play the bitter trick? Doesn't he look down on me the most? Now he actually made his own mother kneel to me. I look down on him. If you really want the money, let Henry come and apologize to me in person. Maybe I'll really be merciful. When my mother heard this, her eyes flickered slightly. She took a deep breath and finally said, He's dying. Aren't you going to go and see him? As soon as these words were spoken, Vivian, who was about to turn around and go upstairs, froze. I originally thought that after hearing her like that, she would never come to the hospital to see me. After seeing the person lying on the hospital bed, I was shocked to realize that I wasn't dead at all. What on earth is going on? Vivian looked at me sleeping on the hospital bed, her nails digging deeply into her flesh, turning slightly pale. Even after all these years, she still loved me. I didn't expect that her feelings for me were so pure. When Henry was diagnosed with ALS that year, he originally didn't plan to tell you. He wanted to marry you after he was cured, but he didn't expect that his ALS couldn't be cured at all. As he saw his body getting out of control day by day, he knew that you loved him and was afraid of delaying you. So, he staged a play all by himself. He contacted a foreign director and recommended you to him. He also gave the director a lot of money and said that you were a talented person. The director really lived up to the trust and took a fancy to your martial arts scenes. So, he sent you an invitation letter, but you didn't tell him about this for a long time. Henry guessed that you wanted to give up your future because of him. That's why he did all those things that hurt your heart later. As my mother spoke, her eyes gradually turned red. This silly child loves you so much, but he did so many things that hurt you. He even hurt himself in his room. She pulled up my sleeve, and there were scars of all sizes on it. There were knife scars and burn scars crisscrossing densely. Every time I see them, I feel very heartbroken. He said that only in this way could he resist the urge to look for you. When his body hurts, his heart doesn't hurt so much. Speaking of this, my mother started to sob again, hugging my body and crying heartbreakingly. Vivian was already in tears when she heard this. She stepped forward and stroked my face, and the tenderness in her eyes seemed to drip out. My eyes moved slightly, and there was a bit more distress in my gaze toward her. Even at this time, she still found out. You fool, I knew you were lying to me. When I heard this, tears welled up in my eyes uncontrollably. This silly woman still believed me. Is he still suffering from ALS now? No. Once he went out drinking and had a car accident, and then he became like this. But the doctor said that his ALS has been cured. Whether he can wake up or not requires multiple surgeries. Our family is not what it used to be now. Not to mention multiple surgeries. Even the cost of one surgery is hard to afford. When she mentioned this, my mother's eyes became even redder. I'll pay for it. Andy, don't worry. Leave this matter to me. I will definitely cure Henry. But you... My mother was taken aback, stepped forward, and held her hand. You're such a good girl. If Henry doesn't marry you when he wakes up, I'll beat him to death myself. So, the two of them were on the same side again, so quickly. After learning the truth, Vivian went to the hospital frequently. She even arranged for specialists to perform surgery on me. After 1 or 2 surgeries, there was no effect. The two of them changed from being full of fighting spirit at the beginning to being like deflated balloons. There was a bit more blame in their eyes when they looked at me. You stinky Henry, look at you. We've worked so hard. Can't you work a little harder? Don't you really want to marry such a good daughter-in-law home? My mother followed the doctor's instructions and, in order to stimulate me, scolded me all day long. Of course I dream of marrying Vivian home, but I'm in such a wretched and lifeless state now. How could I possibly be deserving of her? Thinking of this, my heart sank again. Vivian, Mom, if it really doesn't work, you should give up. My soul has already left my body. Is there any hope for me? Although I was very reluctant, I still didn't want to delay Vivian. I can't let her miss countless men who are better than me just because of my half-dead state, right? After all, love is not about possession. I've realized this over the years. It doesn't matter, Andy. This is just the second time. We still have many more times, even hundreds of times. As long as there is still hope, we should keep going, right? When my mother heard this, she was very touched and grabbed Vivian's hand and started to tell the embarrassing things I did when I was a child. Vivian, you're such a good girl. And he now thinks that this kid is not worthy of you. You don't know that when he was a child, he wanted to put his own excrement in his mouth. Fortunately, I showed up in time. Otherwise, his mouth would definitely smell like underscore and now. Vivian, I like you. That man can't possibly have a future with you. If you're willing, I'm willing to be your support. Lucas looked at Vivian affectionately. His eyes were full of love. I've investigated this man. He inherited the family business at a young age, has a wealthy family background, and is an upright person. He is indeed a good match for Vivian. With such a man by her side, I can rest assured. Lucas, you know me. I'm a very stubborn person. Moreover, there is only Henry in my heart in this life, and I have no intention of getting married. You're very good, but we're not suitable. You have a better life ahead of you. But the doctor said that the probability of this man waking up is only 10%. You're in your prime. Why waste your time on this man? 10% is still hope, isn't it? You don't understand our feelings at all. I'll pretend I didn't hear what you said today. Don't say it again next time, or our relationship will be over. Even if it means being my enemy, you still want to stay with this man. Lucas looked at Vivian in disbelief. I invested a lot in your new drama. Are you really willing to offend me for this worthless man? When Vivian heard this, her eyes instantly turned cold. So, didn't you invest in my new drama just to make money? Lucas was at a loss for words and then tried to defend himself. I did it for the money, but more importantly, it's because of you. I like you. After all these years, I've never cared so much about a woman. Can't you give me a chance? Just one chance. Since it's an opportunity, it's entirely up to my will. If I don't want to, no one can force me. Vivian's voice turned a bit colder. Since we've come to this point, there's no need to talk any further. After saying that, Vivian turned to leave, only to hear the nurse shouting, "Something's wrong." The patient in bed 008 is in critical condition. Upon hearing this, Vivian's face instantly turned pale, and she rushed towards the ward. I don't have the heart to delay Vivian because of a good-for-nothing like me. The best thing would be for me to die right now. Giving up the will to live is the only thing I can do. What are you all standing there for? Hurry up and save him, Vivian shouted hysterically. Lucas beside her also put on an act. That's right. We're your doctors. The doctor said that the patient has given up on living on his own, and there's no need to waste resources. If you have anything to say it quickly. Give up on living? Vivian pounced on me and grabbed my collar. Henry, how dare you? How dare you leave? Do you know how much suffering Andy has endured because of you? Do you know how heartbroken I am for you? We who are alive haven't given up. Why are you giving up? How dare you give up, Henry? Wake up quickly. I still have a lot of things to do with you. A great many things. Vivian's big tears dropped onto my face. You said that we would have 2 children. You said that you would take me to the beach to watch the sunset. You said that you would marry me, and you also said that we would be together forever. Now none of these have been fulfilled, and you're about to leave. Henry, is this your promise to me? Henry, how could you do this to me? You bastard. Good girl. It's just that my son has little luck and can't marry a good daughter-in-law like you. My mother's eyes turned red as if she had finally accepted this fact. It's hard to imagine how much her heart hurt at this moment after she had persisted for so many years. You bastard. Wake up quickly. If you wake up, I'll forgive you. I'll promise you anything, okay? Just wake up. I was being shaken desperately by her, and my heart ached involuntarily. Lucas, who was standing beside us, looked at this scene with a very gloomy face, and even his wrist was trembling faintly. There was a fierce look on his face, just like the domestic violence man on TV. Thinking that Vivian would have to spend the rest of her life with such a man in the future, I instantly became anxious. No, my woman can only be taken care of by me. I desperately tried to return to my own body, but I was bounced back again and again. It was as if there was some kind of barrier around my body. After being bounced back again, I saw the amulet on Lucas's hand. It was him. All right, don't be sad, Vivian. The dead can't be brought back to life. I'll take good care of you in the future. Lucas stepped forward and tried to pull Vivian into his arms, but Vivian slapped his hand away. Get away from me. Henry won't give up on me. Don't you dare touch me in front of Henry. Vivian glared at him fiercely. Seeing this, Lucas suddenly laughed. Touch you in front of him? That's a good idea. He laughed, and with a glance, the bodyguard outside the door directly came in and dragged my mother out. What do you want to do? Is there no law? Let me go. Let me go. My mother shouted hoarsely. Vivian is a good girl. You can't treat her like this. You'll get your comeuppance, son. Son, look. When you're not here, Vivian and I are being bullied by this kind of man. My mother's voice kept ringing out, and the bodyguard directly slapped her unconscious. My anger exploded in an instant. These bastards. Bang! The door was closed, and Vivian was directly thrown onto the adjacent hospital bed, while Lucas was untying his tie. I have to say, you really know how to play. This man isn't even dead yet, and you're already eager to seduce others. What are you doing? Get out of here. Vivian struggled desperately, but she was no match for Lucas after all. Lucas slapped Vivian and then tied her hands together. He was in a hurry to take off his clothes and threw the amulet aside. You bastard. Henry will kill you. Vivian glared at him fiercely, her eyes full of determination. I took this opportunity to rush towards myself and got into my own body. He was just a dead man. Save you? It's just wishful thinking. After saying that, he was about to reach out and tear Vivian's clothes. You bastard. I'll make sure you're childless for the rest of your life. As she said that, the heroine was about to charge at a certain part of him, but he slapped her hard again. That slap was very heavy, and my heart instantly tightened. Vivian, don't be afraid. I'm here. I suddenly opened my eyes and took big gulps of fresh air. Looking at my real body, I directly rushed over and knocked Lucas to the ground. You bastard. How dare you touch my woman? I fought like crazy and returned all the slaps he gave Vivian tenfold. When Vivian saw me, her beautiful eyes were instantly filled with grievance, and her voice trembled. The pretense was instantly dropped, and she looked as pitiful as a kitten in the snow. "Henry, is that you?" "Of course it's me." My voice was steady, and when I held the little person in front of me in my arms, tears streamed down my face. Finally, we were together. Lucas was charged with attempted rape and sentenced to 1 year in prison. When my mother saw me standing there safe and sound, she hugged me and cried for a long, long time. I said my son wasn't dead. You all didn't believe me. Now that my son is awake, let's see who dares to bully me, my mother said firmly. And then she pulled Vivian's hand over. All right, now I have both my son and my daughter-in-law. All that's left is a grandson. I curved the corner of my mouth, and Vivian beside me blushed shyly. Not long after, we held a wedding. I even managed to get my father's original company listed again after the wedding, and it restored to its original scale in less than a year. Those who had originally looked down on my mother came crawling back again. We drove them away with a stick. Our current wealth isn't something that any filthy person can get their hands on. When my second aunt heard this, she quickly smiled obsequiously. Sister, what are you doing? We're real sisters. Before it was your brother-in-law who managed the money, but now it's different. Just tell me how much money you need. Sister, ask for money. My mother was amused. Right now, the thing I lack the least is money. Dear sister, please forgive me. When my mother heard this, she quietly picked up the stick beside her. Okay. My second aunt was driven out. My second aunt, who had originally come to borrow money, also slunk away. I heard that my second aunt's company was in crisis and was in urgent need of money at the moment. All I can say is, serves them right to show my concern for them. Honey, come back quickly. Your child is kicking me. Vivian's soft and sweet voice came from the other end of the phone. My heart softened and I smiled. My dear wife, I'll be right back.